Which is a good segue into my next question. Is Mrs. Robinson a dommy mommy?
No.
Did you guys hear my question?
No.
Should I repeat my question? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Popcorn Revolver, where three dudes talk about movies that we like and sometimes don't like. My name is Ben, and I'm one of your three hosts.
Hi, I'm Mitch. I am also one of your three hosts.
Hello, my name is Lucas. I am not the host with the most.
No, he's not, because I am. I'm the host of the most.
I'm the
Every
captain
month.
now.
Oh, my fucking... Every month, each of us picks a movie based on a theme that we chose, and this month's theme is Bittersweet films. So I chose, rather stupidly, the 1968 film, The Graduate.
Why stupidly?
After what? Well, we'll get to it. It's one of my questions. I guess I could just ask you now. You guys think that The Graduate is bittersweet?
No, not at all.
I was trying to find where it's bittersweet, and I was like, is it just the fact that like this transition period could be bittersweet?
Yeah, it's not bittersweet. I don't know what I was thinking. It's been a while since I've seen The Graduate until I watched it for the pod. Also, it came out in 1967, not 1968. I genuinely don't know what I was thinking. I remember it being more bittersweet in my head. I think it might be something to do with the ending.
When I looked it up, though, I was like, is it considered bittersweet? It was like on a bunch of different bittersweet movie lists, so some people think so.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like a way you could interpret it to be bittersweet. In fact, I would agree with probably people who say it is, and we'll cut into that later. That's for future us to get into in this juicy episode of our podcast, because everyone likes The Graduate, right? This is my pick, so I'll give you guys the rundown summary, I guess. Yeah. So, The Graduate, 1967 movie, starring Dustin Hoffman, Anne Bancroft, Catherine Ross. It was screenplay written by Buck Henry, based off a novel by Charles Webb, directed by Mike Nichols, and produced by a guy named Lawrence Turman. It's about a guy named Benjamin who had just graduated college, comes home to his wealthy family to much praise, but also much pressure for what he's going to do with the rest of his life. And what he does with the rest of his life, at least within the confines of this movie, is pork the mother of the neighbor girl, Mrs. Robinson, who comes onto him very early on in the movie, and then deals with the fallout of that. Yeah, this movie is an interesting sort of relic of the times. It came out in 1967, which was a time where a lot of like the counterculture, was happening, and a lot of people were smoking different things. It was a wonderful time, great time, lots of good music. The 70s was a huge, progressive revolution. A lot of the youth was enlivened by the Vietnam War. You don't need to hear this from me. I'm not a fucking American history scholar. I'm just trying to give you the context so that you can understand the environment that this movie came out in.
I was like, is he going to go through each decade up until the decade we're in now?
The 60s were crazy. They were very youthful. A lot of the youth of that time were looking back on their old generation and saying things like, do I really want to follow in their footsteps? Do I want to do something new, And this movie really encapsulates that and enraptured a lot of people with that. It was hugely successful, like massively successful. It was the highest grossing film of the year, and it made a fuck ton of money. Look at what happened. It became a cultural icon. It received critical acclaim, and The Graduate has cemented itself as a historical landmark in the annals of history. And now we're going to talk amongst ourselves and decide whether The Graduate is objectively good and deserves the praise it gets, or objectively bad and should be forgotten about as a dated flash in the pan.
I don't know. I don't think we're going to objectively decide anything. I'm just going to give our opinions.
The Graduate, as compared to a lot of the other movies that came out around this time, is different. It's unique in the subject matter, the story, the style of filmmaking. It's very unique amongst like 60s movies, but I'm not really well versed in 60s movies, so I can't really tell you why. Before we hop into it, we're going to share subtitles that we've created, marquees that we've made for our movies. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. The Graduate. I hope you like Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Who the fuck doesn't like Simon and Garfunkel?
I love Simon and Garfunkel. If you're going to watch the movie, I hope you do, because there's a lot of it.
There's a lot of Simon, not so much Garfunkel.
I know saying, in the mood for love, like that they were repeating a lot of the same songs, but I was like, oh boy, this challenged me.
The Graduate. This cougar has a taste for meat. Dustin Hoffman's meat.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That probably was the marquee back in the 1960s. The Graduate. Oh, that's why boomers be like that.
So yeah, let's crack into it. I'm very curious to hear you guys' opinions. After watching it, I fully expected both of you to despise this movie, so I'm very interested to hear what you think. This does not seem like the kind of movie that either of you would like. So let's start off really deep and thematic. In the beginning of the movie, Benjamin is shown at an airport, and he stands on the walking escalator. Should he be executed for this?
What?
No, because you stand on the right and let people pass on the left. Like, that's totally fine.
A man woke up and brewed some coffee. Should he be executed? Like, Jesus, Ben.
You don't stand on the walking escalator. You don't do that. That's
You
Yes,
do.
you do. On the right.
No, you
and then
don't.
the left is the passing lane.
Yeah.
You also don't stand on the escalator. People who fucking stand in the middle of the goddamn escalator, they should be executed. I'm surprised neither of you agree with me on this. That's insane.
It's very ableist of you, Ben. You piece of shit.
Anyway. Did you like it? If you didn't, why do you think it garnered such acclaim when it was released?
I didn't hate it like you said, or like that you thought that we would, but it didn't pull me in. Like the watching experience, it wasn't, I wasn't like, oh my God, but I was not super interested. The main character is kind of a creep, and some of the actions of the characters don't make sense. I think it had some interesting elements, but not my cup of tea. Why it got such acclaim, I think, one, some of the shots were like really cool. I was like, ooh, I like how they did that. Two, I think I read somewhere that it was like the first movie to have a band make music for them, right? Is that true? Fact check me. Someone do that.
I don't know. I mean, I know they wrote songs for the film, and contemporary musicians too. Like, it is notable in that sense that it's not like, they had a very run-of-the-mill popular artist or whatever. It was like Simon and Garfunkel. Like, that was they were in their moment. They were, of the now.
Yeah. And then three, I think like it's just something where it like there are elements of like going against what you're supposed to do. And I think in the counterculture time, people are like, hell yeah. But it also, to me, I feel like that message lands flat.
Why does that message land flat?
Because it feels like, because it's from the perspective of like an all males writer's room. like I don't know.
It's a very privileged position, in my opinion. Is like, it's kind of tepid in that way. It has no bite. It's like, my daddy bought me an Aston Martin, and I went to school, and I don't want to do anything this summer. It's like, I don't know. It's very, to me, that part of the film is very toothless. Like, in capturing angst and whatnot is kind of weak sauce.
Yeah, I read somewhere that, and this was from an article written when the movie came out. Someone had mentioned, I don't remember what article it was. I'm so sorry. But they mentioned that that sort of attitude of like you have really rich parents and you go to college and your life is, you basically have a bunch of privilege and you're set up for success in so many different ways. Then you come back home and you feel like this sort of malaise and nihilism that was reserved for, wealthier people before this generation. But since this generation saw so much growth and prosperity, it became sort of like a universal identity for the middle class in the United States, which was overwhelmingly the people who enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, I guess I can give my opinions on it then. It's fine. Like, it is serviceable to me. It's funny. Like, I laugh at it. I watched it about a year ago, remembering it a lot better than it was, and then
same.
And then I and then you picked it, and I was kind of like, all right, that's gonna happen. So yeah, I watched it again, and I kind of felt the same way. I just think it's very of its time in a lot of ways that are both either problematic and or uninteresting to me. But as a film, it's fine. It's just right down the middle fine for me. It doesn't make me feel anything. And I think that's the core of my issue with it.
Yeah, I think it's very much of its time. And also, I relate with the fact that I remember it being better than it was. And I think I chalk a lot of that up to when I watched it for the first time, I was a very angsty teenager.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if I watched this as a kid, I would have been like, ew, ew. But I'm not a kid anymore. Also, to be clear and upfront, this was my first time watching this.
How do we feel about the casting?
I think the actors all portray their roles pretty well. Dustin Hoffman is very sweaty. So the role asked for a lot of sweat, and he provided the sweat. That's
Big Beslas produces his own sweat.
It is iconic for the role. One thing about this movie that a lot of people relate with is the anxiety of it, and Benjamin's always very anxious, and anxiety causes you to sweat.
Yeah. I liked the casting. I think everyone did a good job. Dustin Hoffman, I couldn't tell, does he look older than his character's age because of that whole effect of like when you look at your parents when they were your age, they still look like older and mature because of the style of clothes they wore, those styles are associated with those people? Or was he actually older than the 21-year-old he's supposed to be?
I think he was 30 when they filmed this.
Okay. So yeah, because he looks a little like, I'm like.
Yeah, and you want to know some crazy shit? Anne Bancroft, who plays Mrs. Robinson, was 36 when they filmed
What? Hollywood does women dirty. I feel like before that time, you didn't see a woman past the age of 40.
I mean, she's hot.
Hollywood.
She's hot.
She's hot.
Robinson's hot. We'll get to like the problematic parts of this, but there is a lot of, if you do research for this movie, you'll encounter a lot of uncomfortable references to like the beauty of Catherine Ross, who plays Elaine, and like how nervous all the fucking male producers and writers were meeting her, and how they oogled over her, and just like, I don't know, the kind of in a pre-Weinstein environment, it's like, what? It just makes you feel a little slimy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how things used to be. And in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, people are going to be like, it's crazy how things are now.
Also, Anne Bancroft as Mrs. Robinson, divine choice. She massacres this role. Oh, my God. In my opinion, I think. Which is a good segue into my next question. Is Mrs. Robinson a dommy mommy?
No.
Did you guys hear my question?
No.
Should I repeat my question?
No. Next question.
No. That's my
No.
answer. Move. Next question.
She does tell Ben what to do a lot, which is interesting because during most of the first act of the movie, he doesn't like being told what to do. He resents it. It causes him a lot of anxiety. He runs away from his family. There's a whole scene where his dad's like, "Hey, come outside so I can show you off to all my friends in your new scuba gear," and he resents it. But he's fine when Mrs. Robinson tells him what to do. And I don't know. I thought that was interesting. But I guess I'm the only one that thinks that's interesting.
Well, maybe if you couch the question in less of a...
I think that the other part of that is interesting.
Yeah.
His parents, that first initial cut of scenes, the intro, that kind of was the most pull for me in this movie. Just like I remember that feeling in the end of my college years when I would go back to see my parents and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh," and here's come see my friend, and this is my son Lucas, and this is what he's doing, and this is what he's gonna accomplish, and what is he's gonna do next? What's next, Lucas? And I'm like, "Oh no, okay, I'm just figuring it out." That to me felt impactful. It reminded me of Shiva Baby in that way.
I think it's trying to capture the boredom or ennui of the post-graduation experience. I think its success in that is overstated because it's a lot more about Benjamin's foibles as an individual than it is about feeling lost or directionless. Yeah, and I think it's about young love, or how love makes you crazy in kind of a weird psychosexual way.
Oh yeah, it's more about his foibles than it is about his malaise.
Yeah, his character flaws than it is his boredom or whatever.
What are Benjamin's character flaws?
Well, treats women awfully. He's awkward. He is rude.
Just
impatient,
Benjamin
inexperienced.
in the movie we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Not you.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, no. The character which Dustin Hoffman portrays in the film,
yes.
The Graduate, 1967, his foibles specifically.
I think he also he kind of he's getting pushed around by his parents left and right, and he's not really standing up for himself. And then he finally does something against his parents' wishes, but he just lets this neighbor woman that saw him grow up push him around instead, or tell him what he wants. I think he doesn't know what he wants, and he try to seek it out himself. I don't know. Until he does, and then he does it in a creepy way. I don't know.
He does do it in a creepy way. This is very creepy. The fucking way he stalks the lane.
It's he doesn't make a decision, then he's like, "All right, I'm going to make a decision. Damn be the consequences or anybody else's feelings."
I do really like that scene where he tells his parents that he's going to marry Elaine.
Yeah, that's very funny.
It's funny. How does she know? No.
Well, Benjamin, this seems a little half-baked.
Yeah, well, fuck you, Dad. I think that the movie's about a lot of things, which, you get from a lot of movies, and also movies based on books, because books are really dense with narratives, so they usually are about a lot of things. But the core thing that pops out to me is youth. I think The Graduate, above all, is about youth. It's about it's a big middle. It's very anti-adult. It's a big middle finger to adults, adulthood, their expectations, their attitudes towards youth, and a celebration of youth and youthful energy, and also dealing with the consequences and the fallout of that. My reading of it, and this is my pet theory, and I admit that. Metaphorically, the adults in this movie are vampires. And
my god!
And they
strap on in. We're getting into unhinged reviews.
I mean, that shot where after Benjamin reveals to Elaine that he's been having an affair with Mrs. Robinson, and he walks out, and Mrs. Robinson says, "Goodbye, Benjamin." And the camera, they used a really wide zoom, so they zoom out and built an extension to the set to keep Mrs. Robinson back in this corner.
Yeah.
She's like creeped out in the back of the corner in a black dress. She looks like a fucking vampire. And at the end of the movie,
that shot.
It's great. It's fucking awesome. And at the end of the movie, he fights off all these seething, fucking like gnawing adults with a cross. Like, come on, they're vampires.
I personally felt like it. I mean, I see the thing about youth. I like it is about youth. I think it's about specifically like a transition period outside of youth, and how you can manage that. I think there's like a subtle not even counterculture though. It's like counterculture for suburbia. Like, ooh, he's being bad. He's not going to the dinner party, or like, I don't know.
Okay, let's get into the meat of it. Is The Graduate misogynistic and or problematic?
For sure.
Why? What makes it both or either?
One, I would say the creation of Mrs. Robinson's character plays into this very male fantasy of like older woman seduces you while this more experienced person. But then on the other hand, it turns that against you by like, oh, she accuses him of sexual assault later in the film, which is very, toxic and like plays into the male perspective. Also that you can just talk how Elaine is treated as well as just this object of Benjamin's desire, that he can stalk her. And then eventually she's like, oh, maybe I'll marry you. Yeah, this movie sucks.
The writing of
Elaine.
The writing of Elaine is like, what the fuck do you mean? I was so out by the time that she was like, they bring her up to Berkeley, like, hell yeah, like she got out of that situation. She's like getting herself educated, and then she is under the assumption that Benjamin raped her mom, and he says, I didn't. And then the next day he's like, do you want to marry me? And after one date, which is the entire interaction they've had, she's like, yeah, maybe, we'll see. And it's like, why would anyone make that decision as like a human being? Like, what is there was no, this character didn't seem to have its own agency. It just felt like they were written for the main character. They were an object for the main character to win over.
Yeah, I agree in theory with criticisms towards Elaine's character and how she's written, but the way that I interpret it favorably, not that I agree with it, but the way that I understand it is, she is, well, one, it's very much a movie. This is like a movie's movie. It's fantastical and sarcastic, and things happen unrealistically in a lot of ways. It's, sort of wrapped up in that movie magic, especially for a 60s movie. And the other thing is, Elaine kind of uses Ben to get for her own, like, fuck you to adulthood.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Reddit user whose comment I read that I really liked, and again, I can't remember your name. I got to fucking write down my goddamn sources, but they said that they believe that the reason Elaine runs away with Ben at the end is to get out of her wedding. And I think that's a really good interpretation of it. I think Elaine sees Ben as this kind of like, not hot shot, but like this explosive
wild card
force. Yeah, yeah, exactly. This wild card who she can use to kind of destroy the, standards that people have for her.
Yeah, she hooks up with the bad boy to upset her parents.
The part that gets to me is the scene where Benjamin brings her out on a date for the first time and they go to a strip club because he doesn't want it to work, but then he sees her crying and feels bad, chases her out and says, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, but awkwardly handles the situation and then goes in for a kiss and she's fine with it. And then they cut to a shot of them in a car talking and getting dinner together. And everything seems fine. To me, it would have made more sense to put the kiss later on in the movie. That might be an editing issue, because if you didn't film that, then you can't put it further there, because if the only kiss you have is the scene of them outside. But then that would be a directing thing. You didn't get that coverage. I don't know. It just seems...
Well, she asks him to kiss her, like, the day before her wedding or whatever.
Yeah, that's later on. That's later on when she's already, like... infatuated with him and understands that he didn't actually sexually assault his mom.
And doesn't care that he stalked her.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally understand any criticisms levied at Elaine's character and the way she's written through a very male-centric attitude. I don't see it with Mrs. Robinson, because Mrs. Robinson is not aspirational at all. Like, using the metaphor that they use, Benjamin feels like he's drowning, he feels like he's underwater, he feels all this weight and all this pressure. Mrs. Robinson's character is very much like a siren. He thinks she's his savior, right? He thinks that she's this one person who understands him on like a fundamental level and can get him out of this. But really, she's just dragging him further under. And she's portrayed like that very deliberately. Mrs. Robinson is very clearly not a good person, not a aspirational person. The movie doesn't make... It's one of those things where, like, if you watch it and you want to fucking get down with a Mrs. Robinson, you misinterpreted it, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think that's still problematic. It's not that women can't be villains. It's just that the way she's depicted is as a villain is emblematic of a male view of what women want and what a woman's experience is, and that they're vengeful, they're petty, they're irrational, they'll flip on you on a dime. Like, all these character traits of Mrs. Robinson are couched in a male-centric perspective that is not nuanced to me.
Yeah, well, I don't think those character traits, and I think the movie communicates this. I don't think those character traits are because she's a woman. They're because she's an adult.
Yeah, but it matters that she is a woman.
I mean, sort of.
It does, because, yeah, it plays into male fantasies, and you can say it's like, oh, she's like a siren, but also, yeah, I won't I won't defend how this film uses Mrs. Robinson because it's not any fault of the actress. It's how she's written and how her story unfolds that doesn't see her. She's not seen in the movie. If I felt like she was a villain that was seen and understood, that would be a different thing. But she's not. She's a set piece.
Yeah, I feel like the way they did Elaine is like criminal straight to jail. The way they did Mrs. Robinson is like, 30 years. But it's very much like... It's so unfortunate because it's like, it's not... this isn't like, incel boot camp. Maybe it is. I don't know. But this is like... this is just, unfortunately, the 60s from an all-male perspective. They're is not like a lot of understanding of like why she's going into it. Instead, she is just the siren stereotype, and that's all we get from her. And like, yes,
there is an explanation of why she goes into it. Her character is described by as, you know, that conversation that they have about, oh, well, what did you study in college? What are your interests? She says, oh, I studied art, but I guess I just lost interest. Her character is a aging person who's lost their youth and is using Benjamin to capture some of that, to like relive their youth. She's not a good like we've been through that, but she's not like, I don't think that attitude is misogynistic. It's anti-adult. She's using Benjamin to garner the parts of her youth that she lost, that she envies. That whole scene describes it. She talks about like her relation, how she met her husband, and they talk about how they just kind of like were forced to get married because she got pregnant, and that was, you know, the attitude of the time, and she wasn't actually in love with him. And they leave it a little bit ambiguous of, okay, well, is she actually in love with Benjamin? Does she feel something towards him? And it isn't that. She's just using him to relive this sort of chaotic youthful energy, which is why she doesn't want him to date Elaine, because then he'll realize what she's been doing, and she wants him all for herself.
I still think that a woman wouldn't have written Mrs. Robinson like this. I think she could have been a tragic character. Yeah, I think it matters that she's a woman, and how she's written matters. So I just fundamentally just disagree with you, Ben, on that interpretation.
I'm also curious. I didn't think that she didn't want Ben to date Elaine. I didn't think it was because of like what you said, Ben, where she wants Benjamin all for herself, and if he saw quote unquote like the younger version of her, that he would choose youth instead of adult. I think it was like she realized this person's got nothing going for him. She's like, he's a little fun fling, but this dude, like, my daughter deserves much better than that. And I think that's where that, and also it's going to be fucking complicated as fuck if you do this. That is, like, that's what I think she didn't want her to, him to date Elaine.
That's definitely a part of it, for sure. But it's based on a book, so it's narratively dense. There's a lot of things going on. I think both of those things are true. Do you think if this movie was released today, it would have the same cultural impact?
No.
I feel like this would be another, like, American Pie, you know? Like,
that's so interesting.
I just don't think its voice matters in today's culture. It doesn't really represent the youth of today very well.
Yeah.
I don't think it depicts, like, I don't think it represents anyone very well, like, in that way. Like, I want to be clear. I didn't hate the movie, but I just think that, yeah, it's a time capsule, one that...
Like, do I think that you could take either the core story of, like, guy hooks up with woman and, like, then ends up dating daughter and turn it into some, like, comedy? Sure. Could you take the theme of, like, somebody transitioning out of youth into adulthood and wanting to rebel and push back and stay into youth? Like, yes, I think there are definitely movies like that, but, like, it would be different than what it was.
Oh, yeah. It's very much a product of its times.
Yeah, like, as an example, like, just to round that off my thoughts on it, like, let's say that The Graduate never came out and it was buried in a time capsule, and they dug it up in 2026, and they're like, we found this film from 1967. No one has seen it, and we're going to put it out in theaters. I don't think it would get a positive reaction.
I agree with that.
I don't know. If it's got the hype of a time capsule around it, like, bitch is going to be going out for it. And they're like, wow.
What movie would have the best reaction? Probably The Thing.
The Thing. 1980s The Thing.
Like, what the Casablanca.
Casablanca?
Yeah. It's old enough.
People will watch that and be like, this is exactly
like
like every other movie I saw from this. This might be a difficult question if you're not familiar with the popular films of the time like I am, which is to say I am not familiar with the popular films of the time. But as I established in a little blurb about this movie, The Graduate was made by sort of Hollywood outsiders, a sophomore director, a loose cannon vibes-based producer, and a screenwriter who hadn't written anything before. Did The Graduate feel like it was made by Hollywood outsiders?
I mean, it definitely has some art house sensibilities that you wouldn't see in a lot of Hollywood films of the time. The editing is more postmodern. The sexuality is kind of more modern for the time, I guess, would be kind of controversial. I think there's definitely breadcrumbs to it being not in the canon.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, Mitch, the shots and editing and the like more modern to its time sexuality. Which, can we talk about how it's PG? Like, what?
There was no PG-13 at that time.
Until like the 80s, right?
Parental guidance, and the parent is Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah.
Mrs. Robinson, would you like to see a movie?
Like, there was also, like, I couldn't tell that one scene where she trapped Benjamin in Elaine's room and just came out of the tub. There were, like, quick flashes, like, symbolizing Benjamin, like, taking a sneak peek every now and then while he's like, oh, no, I don't want to do this. Was there actually any nudity? Because one second I was like,
oh yeah.
Yeah,
There was a titty. The film definitely has a character to it that's more, I guess, independent. It's shot on an anamorphic lens. It's got a lot of different lenses that it uses for a lot of different effects. They have like a really wide zoom lens for that shot we were talking about before. Attention to art direction, the costumes people are in, the color of the sets, that kind of stuff. The movies that I can think about that preceded it, that are similar, I guess, not similar, but like I guess you could draw a line between them. I'm thinking of The Apartment by Billy Wilder. That one's also pretty sarcastic, but not as I guess cynical. Okay, let's hop back in with a quick question. Sound of Silence or Mrs. Robinson?
Sound of Silence.
The Sound of Silence is...
You heard it like 15 times in the song.
In the movie?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, God. Neither. Mrs. Robinson. I'll do Mrs. Robinson.
I agree.
I can't with that song after this movie.
I will say I love Simon and Garfunkel, but its usage in this film is poor.
It's too much, and it's like the same two songs.
Well, it's not. It's 3 songs, but it's not even.
Oh, my bad. It's 3 songs.
Scarborough Fair also plays, but I just think it is not the vibe of it doesn't fit the vibe of the film at all. It's weak shit.
This is sacrilege. Are you fucking kidding me?
I love Simon and Garfunkel. I just think it's a poor choice for the film. I don't think it works at all.
That's crazy.
Because it doesn't encapsulate the mood of Benjamin like at all.
What would? Just audio of plates crashing to the floor.
Well, it's like it's very pensive and authentic and serene music, and Benjamin is not any of those things.
Well, he is.
He's bored. He's bored, and he doesn't know what he's doing with his life. Are totally different emotional strokes to.
I don't think he's bored. I think he's disheartened. Like when you came back from college, and Lucas, when you came back from college and you related to that feeling of everybody just like, what are you going to do? And you're like, and you went to your room afterwards. Would you say you were bored?
I was anxious. I was like,
Anxious.
oh God, I hope I can be successful and have housing and health care in this country. Unlike these boomers, they could just fuck off and still get all that and a house.
This is not a question. This is a demand. Say something nice about The Graduate.
Dustin Hoffman with those humps or whatever, he does them very well.
I love the whimpers too. Yeah.
He does the whimpers very well. The shots are great. The shot in the beginning when everybody's asking Benjamin what he's going to do with his life, they're all close up. They're very in your face, very anxiety inducing, very claustrophobic. The one where that you were talking about that made you for some reason think that Mrs. Robinson is a vampire, that shot to me I just thought was an excellent motif explaining like kind of this isolation that she is going to feel, this like that she's now iced out of the family, and like it has created all of this distance not only from him but everybody. I like the end.
Yeah, it's funny. The first act is fairly enjoyable.
You could tell it was in the hands of two comedians. There's a lot of like performative comedy, like the rhythm where in the scene where Benjamin kisses Mrs. Robinson after she took a drag on a cigarette, and it's a really long and awkward kiss, and she's got her eyes open. Then he pulls away and she blows her smoke out. That's fucking hilarious. It's so well blocked and choreographed. I love that. What realities about life in the late 60s did you notice while watching this movie? I shouldn't have said late 60s, just 60s, because the book was written in 63. So what realities about life in the 60s did you notice about this movie?
I got one. They had to get a blood test to get married.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Was that a thing?
Yeah, me and Carrie looked it up because we watched it together. It was to check for syphilis. It was like you couldn't get married unless you got your syphilis treated.
Wow. Why?
I guess syphilis was rampant and they had to figure out some way to get people to get their syphilis checked and treated.
Wild.
Along with like other VD, you know, like they really cared about. I was like, is it to check if they're related? That doesn't make sense. They didn't like
if they're pure.
What?
No, like to check if they're quote unquote pure, like the STD stuff.
Oh,
I think it's more of a public health thing than anything else, Lucas. I don't know.
That is very interesting.
But I mean, syphilis is it kills you. It's fatal. Like you gotta get your syphilis treated, guys.
Oh, yeah, it's what got Capone.
Yeah. Did it really?
Yeah,
I thought that was tax evasion.
It was a 1-2 punch.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, pre-penicillin, syphilis was a death sentence. So you know.
Oh, so syphilis is bacterial.
Yes.
He could drink before he was 21.
Well, could he?
Yeah, he went to the bar at the
did.
hotel and he got a drink.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He could have been a
You could
ginger
drink.
ale.
Okay, but also we know that you could drink at 18 up until like, I don't know, the 80s. Your dad drank at 18, right, Mitch?
I don't know.
I feel like he was driving around with a beer at 18.
Let's look this up. But according to this Reddit post, the 1984 National Minimum Drinking Age Act. Okay. Ben and I have the same name. What other similarities are there between him and I?
You're men. And you're white.
And you're horny.
You went to college.
One thing you guys mentioned earlier that's a similarity is we're both very sweaty.
You're both clinging on to that youth, or at least value youth. Not value, because I value youth, but not like you idolize youth, maybe?
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I romanticize youth. Wait.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
We're going to cut this whole episode.
Can I take that the fuck?
The worst part is you said it yourself.
I really only have one other question, and this is exciting because I really, really liked the ending of this movie. I think the ending's the best part. How do you guys feel about the ending?
I like.
Sophisticated, Lucas. Very sophisticated.
I'm sorry.
No, I agree with what you said, Lucas.
Thank you. The man who romanticizes youth.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think that if you were going to make an argument that this movie is bittersweet, the ending would have to be like the crux of your argument. Because like it's iconic. If you don't know what it is, then you probably haven't made it this far in the episode. But they Elaine is getting married. Ben is accosted by Mr. Robinson, tells him to fuck off and eat shit and don't come anywhere near his daughter. He ignores his advice and finds out where Elaine's getting married, breaks into the church, and after Elaine kisses this piece of shit who she's marrying, Ben bangs his hands against the window and says, Elaine! 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 And it is wild. Because as soon as that happens, the movie turns into like a completely different fucking movie. And all the adults turn into seething like monsters. And Elaine yells for Ben. He immediately runs downstairs and there's a fight scene. He fights off Mr. Robinson. And he grabs the... Fucking Mrs. Robinson slaps Elaine. It goes off the rails, dog. And then Benjamin grabs the cross that they're using at the church and fights off this gang of zombies and vampires with it. And then he puts it in the handles of the door and locks them in the building and runs away with Elaine. And this moment is such a encapsulation of the attitude of counterculture at the time. You have this dude who's been living in California, Berkeley, just for a girl, and he's got his jacket all ripped and torn, and he's sprinting across a field with a girl in a wedding dress. It is brilliant imagery. And they catch a bus, get on the bus, sit on the back of it, and there's all these adults looking at them, laughing. They're not laughing. They're just stone-faced looking at them like, you idiots. And their kids at the back of the bus laughing and enjoying each other's company. And then we get the iconic shot at the end where their faces deflate and they feel stuff, I guess. I don't know. It's ambiguous. They don't really tell you.
And then they get off the bus and vote for Donald Trump.
Basically. No, but the
they're in the demo. They're in the demo that would do that.
Yeah.
Counterculture my ass.
I mean, yeah, honestly, yeah. The deflating of their face, though, or their expressions is the part that I was talking about. Like, yeah, I like the whole fight scene. It's a little, like, out there. It's a little crazy. Someone's throwing around a cross, which was probably a little clutch the pearls for the time. So, love that. But their face fading, it was like Elaine just kind of like realizing, oh shit, what have I done? Like, oh fuck, my life's gonna be fucking hard. Like, oh god, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think I definitely think it's part of it, right? Like they realize in that moment that this feeling of needing to have a plan, needing to know what your next step is, isn't limited to people who tell you to do it, and it isn't just a one time deal. It's once you turn into an adult, it's every day. You have to make these decisions every day, and it's the rest of your life. And they've had this like youthful, excessive moment of just ravenousness, and they come to that. It feels like they come to that realization there, and it's sobering, you know.
Yeah, like, oh, my actions do have consequences, except for them. They'll just pass it on to the next generation.
Right, and that's part of the. Yeah, well, they're all locked in a church with a cross, which is kind of ironic and hilarious, I think. But that also speaks to the point before in what I was talking about, where in the book and also in the movie, Elaine and Ben don't really have a reason to be in love with each other. They kind of just do it. And the reason why that whole scene preceding it at the church happens is because they are, well, for any number of reasons. It's because they're, you know, full of youthful energy, because Elaine wants to get out of her marriage, because Ben finally feels like he has a purpose and he loves that feeling and he wants to continue having a purpose. But that scene afterwards is them realizing that, like, maybe we aren't right for each other, you know? And the solution isn't to go back to your wedding, and the solution isn't to, like, listen to your parents, but the solution is within you, like it always has been. And your parents, who you might have been resenting this whole time, were trying to instill that in you, and you were just disregarding it because you saw them as, like, a stock standard authority figure.
Yeah.
Did any of that make sense? Did I did I cook, or am I rambling? Is Mitch alive?
Not gonna lie, I checked out there for a little bit.
I'm so glad we have this podcast.
Not because of you.
I think you're.
Welcome to Popcorn Revolver, where two dudes talk about movies that we like, and one of us
zones out and contemplates the meaning of a burger. I don't know. No. I think
the endings, I don't know. I understand that it's iconic. It's just the preceding things just made me not invested enough in that moment that I still didn't feel anything. Like, I knew it was iconic and I hadn't seen it in a while, but yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying though, that the everyday realization that you have to keep making decisions and you have to keep making plans. What's next? Like, that question never stops being asked of you as an adult. I understand that it's encapsulated in that moment. And there's so much that I wish the film could do with that feeling, because it's interesting. It just doesn't explore it in a way that feels substantive and meaningful and heartfelt. And that's why the ending doesn't do anything for me.
I think that's fair. Like, the ending, I think, for those who liked the movie, or like, you know, saw it as like this great thing in film, saw it as like the cherry on top of a sundae, while like for me, it felt like, okay, thank God, it's at least self-aware. Like, it allowed it to be a real sundae and not a shit sundae.
Well, that's an interesting point you bring up. Do you think the movie was self-aware?
It knows that Benjamin was making bad decisions, I think.
Well, the final shot was...
Like, it hints at it at the end.
This is confirmed by Lawrence Terman. The final shot of the movie was sort of an accident. The scene called for the characters to be, like, you know, happy and stuff, but Mike Nichols kept the camera rolling and took a lot of takes from that scene and captured that moment. And once he saw it, he was like, "Oh shit, that's the one," right? So I don't think that invalidates or validates the idea that this movie is self-aware or not. I think you'd probably have to take more examples from the rest of the movie to make that claim either way. But
well, the choice to choose that take is also part of the art, half the movie is in the editing room, right? So
that choice was self-aware.
I mean, depending on like what type of movie you're making, you could, and The Graduate is full of this. I mean, it is a lot of different moods the entire time. It flips between them pretty frequently. It's funny and sarcastic, but it's also, it's anxious and it's also sad, or tries to be, And I think it is reasonable to assume that they might have chose that last shot to imply some ambiguousness that maybe they didn't understand, as much as it is possible that they did understand it, or that they wanted it to be a different way. I think all those are possible. Okay, so that's it for my questions. Do you guys have any questions for me?
If you, since this movie wasn't bittersweet upon rewatch, if you could go back in time and switch the movie, what would your bittersweet pick have been?
Fuck, man. I don't know. Fuck. Okay, let me Google bittersweet movie. I might have picked Leon the Professional.
I've never seen that one.
You won't like it. I really like that movie, but it's problematic.
So, Ben, when I knew you, you had a poster of The Graduate on your wall. It was always funny because it said, Ben's a little worried about his future. And you're like, that's me. I'm a little worried about my future. I'm trying to think of like other examples, and I'll look through the list. But it feels like sometimes you had these movies that you saw like in film school or during this really impactful time in your life, and you've recommended them on the pod and rewatched them after like a huge amount of time has passed. And I'm curious to know how much of your enjoyment this watch through was like nostalgia or was like genuine admiration for this movie.
None of it was nostalgia for the way I used to feel about it. All of it was cringe. Just cringing at my old self for thinking that things like worked like that, or admiring parts of that movie that weren't meant to be admired, that kind of stuff. That was much of my watch of it. But in retrospect, like after it turned off and I actually thought about it and I was putting my thoughts down in text, I realized like, oh, I'm sort of being a little too hard on it. And there is merit in it. It's like worth your time. It's worth my time. And even though it doesn't have the same impact on me, and even though I would not recommend this to a younger person who was my age at that time, like I thought I might, I do think it's got a lot of really cool qualities that I think are valuable.
Interesting. So like you almost, when you were watching it, were cringing at it so hard, and then you're like, am I cringing at the movie? Am I like, partially yes, but am I just being cringe about my old self and being too hard on my old self?
Yeah, the movie benefits a lot from interpretation. Like if you can treat the interactions between characters as fantastical and metaphorical, you're going to get a lot more out of it. And the movie lends itself to that because it's wrapped up in this movie magic sort of thing. That's what it shares with a lot of like Hollywood movies from the time, is this Hollywood attitude towards love and stuff, which, at the time was extremely misogynistic and fucked up and all that. But, and you can find contemporary examples of that aren't like that. Like, for example, La La Land, which I think is a good example of that. Oof. But, you didn't like La La Land?
I hated it. It's so whitewashed. I'm sorry, but
what the fuck?
That's for another time. That's for another time. Someone recommended.
Lucas read a comment and then he just formed his whole opinion on it. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god! The most devaluing, minimizing thing you could have ever said.
I'm just joking, Lucas. You just don't like musicals. It's okay.
It's not it's just white LA. It's LA without any color.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm literally just fucking with you. I know.
The jazz
it's all valid
with all white people. Sorry. Well, someone please recommend that.
I
want to talk about it.
I'm down to talk about La La Land. I love that.
And I want to see if it's changed since I fucking have watched it when it first came out. And I was like, this is not it, y'all.
All right. Final thoughts, ratings out of 10.
Yeah, I am very middling on this movie. I think I pretty much made most of my thoughts mostly clear on where it dragged for me, where it succeeded. It is funny. I didn't have a bad time watching it. So based on that, it's pretty much a straight down the middle 5 out of 10 movie for me.
Yeah, I will second that. I wasn't like begging for it to end. I was watching a movie, but I was just kind of like, oh, she made that decision? Okay, here we go. This is the movie we're watching. It is interesting to watch time capsule movies. Specifically, like I remember there was a class I had where we were talking in college where we were talking about a political theorist's book, and the class was for an hour, and this person did a lot of work on like authoritarianism and totalitarianism, and the entire time, the whole class, we were talking about how racist this person was, and they're like, the way they talk about people of color is crazy. And the professor who lived through that time when the book came out was like, guys, I totally recognize this, yes, but like, can we also talk about the political thoughts that this book is trying to talk about? Like, I totally agree with you, totally makes sense, but like, let's also take it into its time. That's something that I feel like is needed in this. It's a good exercise. 5 out of 10.
So you'd say it's dated?
Super, yeah. It does not hold up throughout time, but
does not pass the vibe check.
It does not pass the vibe check, but sometimes she's funny. And Dustin Hoffman's keep me going.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the movie. I already gave you my final thoughts, really. I think it's a 7. I give it a 7. Maybe scraping an 8. Depends on what mood I'm in. He's also dying as we speak, which is a theme on this podcast. Mitch often dies on our podcast.
But we resurrect him for more content.
I'm just a little content puppet you guys drag out like every week.
Laugh, we need more likes.
Just suffering the East Coast lifestyle, you know.
Before Mitch dies, we do have to do one more thing, which is scour the high seas to find the craziest, kookiest, cuckoldiest, most unfucking hinged reviews we can find on the internet. Who would like to go first?
I feel like mine's just okay, so soft landing. This comes from DWill2, like the number 2, on Letterboxd, and they gave it half a star out of 5. This is literally just 2 hours of Dustin Hoffman looking ugly while the same 3 Simon and Garfunkle songs play on repeat.
Accurate.
Like, that Dustin Hoffman stray is really funny to me.
Yeah.
God
Not that he doesn't deserve
bro.
strays. It's just like, of the criticisms of the film, it's like, he's just fucking ugly. I hated looking at him for 2 hours.
Okay, I'll go. Mine comes from the. I was about to say The Graduate. Mine comes from Letterboxd. User Procrastina gave The Graduate a 0.5 star. Oh, my dad would have been 17 when this came out. That explains so much. This film is so dumb and whiny, I couldn't even make it halfway. This generation and sex. ... Boo. After the first painful hotel scene, I wanted to say that Benjamin Braddock's tiptoed so that Shane Hollander could gallop. But baby girl has more personality and tenderness in his pinky toenail than the entirety of leathery skinned cancered Dustin. If that's the point, cool. Happy for you. Very much not for me.
Damn, okay.
I didn't get the reference.
Heated rivalry. It was the character Shane Hollander. I haven't seen it yet still. I just was like, whoa, coming after Dustin Hoffman with the leathery skin cancer Dustin.
That's horrible.
Yeah. But I did like This Generation and Sex. Boo!
All right. Mine comes from Rotten Tomatoes user Blobbo, who gave it 5 stars and said, Blobbo, big identify with alienated youth. Film iconic masterpiece. Think Blobbo. Funny too.
Okay, Blobbo.
Blobbo is the greatest film critic I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Gotta have him on the pod.
Hell yeah. Blobbo, please come on the pod. I'll pay for your plane ticket.
He could be local. You never know.
Yeah, they could record remotely. We don't need them to fly out.
Anyway, that wraps up this epoch of Bittersweet movies. Join us next epoch, where the theme is going to be cult classics. So, movies about cults. And the first movie we're going to be watching is... The first movie we'll be watching is Rocky Horror Picture Show, recommended by Lucas.
Classic.
Yay. Let's do the time warp again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very excited for it.
Yeah.
Thank you for this epoch, boys. It was bittersweet.
It was bittersweet.
Well, it started bittersweet. Didn't really end bittersweet.
That ended on a really weird horny note.
Anyway, thank you for listening.
Thanks, dear listeners.
Bye-bye.
Go to bed now.
Kisses.